Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
And a good morning to you. It is Coffee Ann time here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning. My name's Joe Callahan. That's Dave Richards right over there. Good morning. Good morning to you there, Dave.
What do you know?
Oh, that's not working.
You're not? No, yes, it is, Joe.
It is?
Yes. Hold on a second.
Hold on. Take care of this. Little technical stuff going on behind the scenes. Yes.
You have your own private little director's screen right there.
Ooh.
Shows you what's on the TV. Now put the right thing on TV.
Look at that. Okay. Now we're
temporary hookup while we're changing things. We're doing renovations here, folks. It's a mess.
Now we're cooking with heat, Dave. So we're okay.
Okay.
This segment of Coffee Ann is sponsored by the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
It certainly is.
Anything
Joe?
from the chamber in your email, Dave?
Oh, we have stuff from the chamber in my email. You wouldn't believe this. All kinds of stuff comes in from the chamber in my email, and I'm looking. There it is, right there. First of all, the Providence Bruins Black and Gold 3-pack. Now you say to yourself,
tickets.
Yeah. What's that doing in my chamber email box? Well, it's because they're a member of the chamber, the Northern Rhode Island Chamber, along with the rest of us, and that different chamber members can give little spiffs to other different chamber members, and they're offered that way. So it's just another perk of membership. Another perk of membership is, I don't know how many groups that you belong to, Joe, where they set up a yearly member survey.
Okay.
And what it is that, of course, the 2025 legislative session is coming up on January 1st or thereabouts. And they really want to know what the members are thinking in time to make their battle plan when they're down there advocating for you in the Rhode Island legislature. You see, while they're in session. So now's the time to ask. So the member survey is in your email box if you're a member of the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. And if you are not, call 334-1000 after the program today and become a member. You'll find it's really easy. And, of course, you say to yourself, I'm too small to be a member of the Chamber. Baloney. Membership dues are prorated for the size of your organization, but the benefits are the same for all. That's it.
Okay. Thank you there, Dave. Coming up later on in the Coffee Ann program, we'll be joined by Rich Elaine and Rob LaForte from the American Legion Post 85, and John Ward with a paid appearance here on Coffee Ann at 8:45.
I liked this paid appearance yesterday, and I don't know if you realize
we'll continue
this.
it today as well.
Yeah. I don't know if you realize this, but we the number of streams yesterday for John's appearance was shot right up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so people are interested in what the man says.
Sure. All right, we got a note that was sent to me yesterday, and they're taking exception with some of our comments on the Coffee Ann program from
that's
yesterday.
A nice, lively idea.
So
sometimes we object to what we say on the Coffee Ann.
They just it's all talking about the shooter down in Georgia at the high school, and just not agreeing with some of our comments from yesterday.
Okay.
They're saying I'm forgetting the key word. It's the availability of weapons. Home must secure guns at all times, which I completely agree with. Now, Dave tells me this morning that the juvenile that did the shooting, this gun that he was given was gifted to him
by his dad.
Okay.
Christmas time. Well, we're jumping to the conclusion. The story said December of 23,
okay.
last December.
Okay.
So we're jumping to the conclusion that it was a Christmas gift.
Okay. Now, from what I've read, his dad took him hunting on numerous occasions.
Right.
So him buying his son a gun.
Well, that's what dads do. They teach their kids. I mean, my elders took me hunting.
At that age area? Maybe even younger, right?
Yes. Okay. Actually, a little earlier than 14, but I mean, I imagine that he started earlier, too.
So if it's his gun, I'm sure he keeps it secure in the house, but he also has the key to it, so he can get it out anytime he wants to. The caller also goes on to say that basically the Second Amendment needs an overhaul. I don't think it does. I think it's just fine the way it is. Now, I was also wondering, should the parents be held responsible? Well, apparently, under Georgia law, yes, because they arrested the father. yesterday and charged him with involuntary manslaughter and cruelty to children, which I really don't understand. But okay, that's what they charged him with.
Yeah,
and
I don't understand that either,
it's-
but it does smack of a little woke.
Because the way I'm looking at it, Dave,
intolerance.
and maybe you won't, maybe the analogy is not correct. Okay, we give the guy, we give him the son a gift, and here's a gun, and he goes out and shoots people. Is it the same thing as if what if you gifted your son or daughter a car and they went and ran down some people?
No,
Are
it's
you
not like that, Joe.
Why
You gotta
isn't
look
it
a
the
little
same?
You gotta look a little further into the story. And again, this is Coffee Ann, so we're not experts. We don't really know. These are opinions. We're expressing them for your entertainment. But there's facts here that you're not bringing up.
Like,
Before last December, when he got the gun as a gift, he had already, the father and the son had already been talked to by authorities because the son
Right.
had been making
Posts.
comments, right,
That he's gonna shoot the
online,
school.
in public,
Yeah.
that he was, that had to do with shooting up the school.
I remember reading that.
And subsequent to that, after that, the father bought him a rifle. And it's not just, this is no Daisy 22, let's go out and shoot birds
No,
for
it's not.
food type of thing. No, this was an AR style
It's a semi-automatic
rifle,
weapon. Yeah.
right? And AR, if you want to know, I don't know if it is actually this is what it means, but it would help you in your understanding if you thought of it this way. Think of AR as meaning assault rifle.
But it doesn't.
It's not a defensive weapon, it's an assault rifle. It's an AR style weapon. And AR could mean something else, but that's the way I remember it. And that's what you look at. So if the youngster was talking about shooting up schools in public online, and the father buys him a gun at Christmas time, and it's not just a Daisy 22, which is like your starter rifle. And it's an AR style weapon. It would then be understandable for law enforcement to conclude that the father was egging the kid on
AR,
or
by the way.
facilitating him.
The A in AR stands for Armalite. So it's basically like it's a name.
Okay.
It's like a
All right. You see,
it's like
yeah,
Frigidaire.
yeah, but
Yeah,
when I think
Armalite rifle.
when I think of AR, I think of assault rifle.
Okay. All right, but now the police down there say, and I heard this yesterday, no, we didn't drop the ball when we went and talked to them.
Right.
They thought everything was just
You used
fine.
restraint.
Yes.
Give the kid a talking to. He's a young kid. He's going through a bad patch right now. He'll grow up fine with proper supervision. Father assures the law enforcement officers that he'll get proper supervision, and this is what happens.
Things fall through the cracks. I know. I get it. And people say, "Oh, we got to do something." But if you're having it that tough a time, if you're that mentally unstable, okay, you're just going to choose another weapon. Rocks.
Yeah, I know,
knives.
but as much as I don't really want to get into the buzzsaw of this argument, because you never, if you take any stand at all, you're going to tick off
Yeah, someone's
half
not
the
going to like
room.
it. Yeah,
So there's no winning in having an opinion on any of this stuff. There's really no winning at all. But I would say to this, I understand. I'll say this again for the benefit of those haters out there. I'm the product of a conservative father and a flaming liberal mother. I see both sides. I choose to be moderate in the middle because it got me through my puberty and without getting whacked by my father or punished by my mother.
You can't think that way.
But I choose to be moderate in my views, but I understand both sides. And those who are calling for restrictions on firearms and weapons of this type have a good point. I mean, okay, fine. What we're trying to do is to make the non-career criminals more responsible or take away the tools they could use to wreck or end their lives or someone else's. And I get that. You don't give a lighter to a kid who's fascinated with fire. It's not a good deal. Oh, well, they could start a fire another way. They could. But if the kid walked into a school with a slingshot, or I don't know, or, my mind is not bringing up a simple weapon which could hurt but not kill.
That's simple enough.
Right. Yes, they could do that, but then you wouldn't have the killing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that might be a lofty goal. Getting it through the lively debate of our democracy and codified into law is the challenge. I don't disagree with the result they seek, but how do you do it without trampling on what other people feel? And that's the big problem here, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that Napster was a criminal enterprise. Going back to the 90s now, Napster was a criminal enterprise that so many people engaged in and joined them in their criminal copyright infringement of people's fiduciary rights. We knew it. And we didn't want it to happen. We wanted them to go away, but they steadfastly said, no, this is a matter of free speech and democracy, and you can do what you want, and all the rest of this stuff. And then the most awful thing happened. Congress got involved. If you want to mess something up, get Congress involved. And I'm not being cynical. There is a real honest-to-goodness reason why this happens. Because Congress is too big, too many members with too many differing points of view. And if something is black or white, like death is bad, life is good, just get Congress involved, and they'll end up with a gray area where people die.
But it's okay. But it's good.
You're going to have problems with that. And this is the weakness of our democratic republic style of government that we continue to work on in the lively experiment.
Well, like I said yesterday, the answer is not to take away the rights of law-abiding citizens.
This would be your conclusion. However,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's you, and the rights of innocent people have to be addressed too. And it may be that you have to sacrifice the rights of law-abiding citizens to preserve the lives of people who are innocent, who become victims of those folks. It's the whole thing about time. If you knew that person was going to go shoot up a school, you wouldn't allow them to have guns, and you could pass a law that would work out that way. But you don't know the future.
Well, right.
And that's the big rub everywhere. You don't know the future.
All right, we're going to take our first break here on the Coffee AM program. More is coming your way, so keep it tuned right here. And this first segment sponsor of Coffee AM has been the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Dave, anything else about the Chamber?
334-1000. Call after the show because they don't answer the phone till 9 o'clock.
Hi, this is John Ward, candidate for mayor of Woonsocket. Early voting has begun and primary day is just around the corner. I'm asking for your vote whether you choose to vote early or on primary day. Don't wait until November to start making a change. Being the mayor of Woonsocket is no place for on-the-job training. Now more than ever, experience matters. When city government is working well, it's a challenging job that often stays off the front page in TV news. Day-to-day tasks like picking up trash, plowing streets, maintaining clean and attractive parks, providing essential services like clean water and emergency response all get done quietly and efficiently, and we must always respect and appreciate those who perform these valuable services for us. An experienced mayor also has the time and ability to work effectively with our state and federal representatives, community partners, and residents to improve our city and ensure the good delivery of other services and improvements for our city. It's time to move on from the legacy of backdoor deals and mismanagement. Our current mayor, who was handpicked by the former mayor and never elected to the mayor's office, has continued down the same path with some of the same people. We need a change from this approach that values loyalty over integrity. We still don't know the full impact of the former part-time Human Service Director's careless exposure of private information, but it's clear we cannot afford more of the same. I'm asking for your vote on primary day, Tuesday, September the 10th. Every single vote on that day will be crucial to get the change in motion. Please visit my website at wardformayor.org for more information. It's time for a new direction, one where experience and integrity matter. I'm John Ward, and I'm respectfully asked for your vote for mayor of Woonsocket. Let's turn our city around together. Thank you.
Paid for Friends of John Ward.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON, AM, and FM.
It is Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us on this Friday morning, September 6th. I'm Joe Callahan. Dave Richards is here as well.
I am.
And we're being joined at the Coffee and Table, as usually on a Friday, by Rich Lane from American Legion Post 85. Hi, Rich.
Good morning, everyone.
There you are. And how are you today?
I am doing fantastic.
You want
You
to?
brought a guest for show and tell, huh?
Yeah.
I most certainly did.
Awful nice of you.
I'm honored to bring him in, to be honest with you. A good friend of mine. I'll let you introduce him, Joe.
That would be Rob Lafort, commander, right? At
Post 85,
the
yeah.
Post 85. And so
Joe, the story behind the story
What
is
is that,
that Rob
this
has some information for everybody about special things going on. And when I was with two of these gentlemen here earlier in the week at the Kevin K. Coleman School, wow, you guys did a fantastic job giving out the backpacks and stuff like that. And the kids, my goodness, well behaved. I never heard so many thank yous. And and after they were done saying thank you each time you gave them something, they stood in line, and before they left to go back to class, in unison, big thank you. It was very, very nice. It was a very, very heartwarming thing. And we took a whole bunch of pictures and stuff. They were supposed to be online. I don't know. I don't go online much, so I don't see it. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
You haven't seen it?
No.
What,
The pictures that I took.
oh, no, I haven't. No,
You haven't seen that?
they're posted on the ON site then?
Well, that's what they.
Yeah,
that's where I
that's
pay
right.
her to do it.
No, I have not. I have not seen
All right,
them yet.
well, anyway,
So I will look them up, though.
Well, maybe Melissa didn't get to it, but she should have by now. So anyway, it was a very, very nice thing. And Rob says, I'd like to get some publicity on this thing. I says, well, come on in with Rich. We don't want to listen to him all morning.
That's right.
So there you go. And that's why Rob is here.
is he going to talk about us being in the main event at the next wrestling event?
Maybe. I've been challenging Joe to put on a pair of leotards, and him and I will jump in the ring there for.
Hey, whatever works to bring people.
Tell us why you're really here, Rob.
Well, there's a couple of reasons. Post 85 is very, very active, as you know. One of the things we got coming up in September 18th at 11 a.m. is our second Veterans Cafe. So this Veterans Cafe is hosted through various Meals on Wheels, veteran agencies. They give veterans, unfortunately, the age is 60 and above for our veterans that come in for a free lunch. And we also have a lot of veteran affairs people in there, other resources. They can get information on assisted living. They can get information on their veteran benefits, medical, etc. So I offer the invitation out to all our veterans 60 years and above to come visit us at Post 85 on September 18th at 11 a.m. for our second Veterans Cafe. We will have the resources there, so bring your DD-214 and any other medical documents or issues that you have that we may be able to answer, and I'm sure we can get you the resources you need.
And by the way, the food is excellent. Last, all the, if you remember, Rob, all the 60-year-old veterans there plus came up and said,
Great
didn't
food.
think the food was going to be this good. Yeah, but the food is fantastic. So, so come on down, like Rob said, come on down and get your free meal and a lot of good information,
It's not like the food you had in the armed services and the Marines, right, Rich?
No, I don't think they had the MRE. I didn't see any MRE packages, so I think we'll be all set.
You in the Marines too, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's...
I never care. Everybody keeps talking about the rations that way, but I never had any problems with it.
I don't know.
It's not tasty, huh?
Well, Rob was a little bit after me in the Corps. He was Iraq, right, Rob? Gulf War. And he might have had the newer MREs. I got the ones in boot camp with the with the cigarette packages in them.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah,
That's why they wanted you to
in the
smoke.
chair- oh, no,
so
the-
it'd kill your taste buds, so you wouldn't know what the
There you
food
go.
tasted
Drill
like.
instructors used to
Exactly.
come around to be the first thing they'd grab. Cigarettes
to
in the
me.
gum. Hand it over.
Wow. All right, Rich. What else is going on at the Post?
Well, I want Rob to elaborate a little bit more about
Okay.
other stuff we have up in the attic there, and yeah, I know we wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Well, the reason why I talked to Dave during the kids program at Coleman, and we get a lot of donations from various people, some veteran families, some aging families that have, walkers, wheelchairs, crutches. We got some medical supplies that they give us. We do have coats and different things that we give out to our veterans, but we're also there for the community as well. So if anybody needs something, you got a relative visiting that you don't have the apparatus at home, but you need to, you don't want to go out and buy, give us a call at the Post at 766-7585. And if we have that stuff in our storage area, we'll be glad to give it to you for your family, for the veterans, or whoever's in need. We don't like to throw anything away. We like to save it and help as many people as we possibly can. So the invitation is out there.
Nice.
And that's important because people, when things come up in families, it's often quite unexpected. Someone injured, has an operation or something like that, or maybe you've got someone visiting from afar and they need a wheelchair or walker or whatever, that sort of stuff. And you're saying to yourself, oh boy, how am we going to take care of this? If they're veterans, you'll always have a good reception at Post 85, and they've got the stuff there.
And it's not just for veterans, too. It's for anybody. We help the community out just as much as we help the veterans. So if someone is in need of something, I'm not going to guarantee you we'll have it, but I will definitely go check and try to obtain it if I can.
All right, great.
And another thing, a lot of folks, and I know I come on the air quite a bit and say it, but now that I've got my commander sitting right here, his wife, Nikki, is the president of the Ladies Auxiliary. And I'll tell you, between Rob and Nikki, they motivate the heck out of me to keep going. And if you want to, there are no two people that are harder working than Rob and Nikki for veterans in the community. And when he sits here and he tells you that they want both entities, we help. Of course, veterans first always because of, our Legion affiliation. But the community and look, we all know down at Post 85, if it wasn't for the community around the Woonsocket area and especially the Fairmount community, that we would have a very hard time existing because we get so much support from the community, and that's why we want to pay it forward because we really appreciate the backing of the community as well as our veteran members. So, and I just want to thank Rob from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to be part of all this because, like I said, he motivates me, and if I don't do what he tells me to do, I usually get a knock across the head, which I'm more than happy to take.
Well, as a
I'm sure
Marine,
he
you're used
doesn't
to
do it. I'm sure he doesn't do it that often because it probably hurts his hand.
Well, that too.
Now, Rob, we asked Rich about this usually once a week. Maybe we skip a week every now and then. But he's involved in the trenches, and it deals with the car down there. As someone that's a few steps back, how do you see the program working out now? You must have been doing this over a year now.
Yeah, it's been a little
Yeah?
over a year with the
Do you
courtesy
get
vehicle.
any comments from people about the vehicle?
I get quite a few comments from a lot of people. This program, started out as a wish list, something that we never knew that we were going to do. We knew we needed it. We knew the veterans needed it, but we didn't know how to go about it. Since Richie started talking about it, and it actually came to fruition, we've helped quite a few veterans. We're constantly busy. We're getting bigger and bigger. We're getting more and more volunteers to drive. We're getting support from the community and different agencies to support that vehicle. So I think it's a great thing. This program has taken off, And it shows all the veteran agencies, and it shows the state, and it shows the community that we want to get involved, and that we're always there for the mission.
And if our buddy Gary Smith, who might have the radio on already, listening to us right now,
Possible.
Gary was one of the, one of the main instrumental, unbelievable. He had the ties over at Imperial Chevrolet with Kevin Meehan and the whole crew out there. So, I mean, they donated the vehicle, and now it's just up to us to keep it going.
Do other American Legion posts around the state reach out to you guys and say, how'd you do this? Where do we start? Because we'd like to do the same thing.
Unfortunately, I haven't really got too much correspondence from other legions.
Okay.
And I can't answer the reason why, but we offer our services to any veteran organization out there, whether it's a Legion or AMVET or VFW, on how we do it if they're interested. But we help them as well. A lot of our members of the Veterans Council are from VFWs and AMVETs and whatnot, and we help them with their people as well, and they also help us in the process.
Okay. Rich, if you look down the road like a year, 2 years, 3 years, is it a wish list? Would you like a second car too? Is it getting that popular that we really could use another car?
It's popular to the point that when I get a call from a veteran, and you got to do a little bit of background on what their mobility is, because it's a sedan.
Right,
And
it's not a van.
I mean,
Yeah.
right, and it's a low. Hey, don't get me wrong. I'm more than happy to have the vehicle. Take my word for it. I mean, because it's helped a lot.
It's not like a wheelchair
That's
van.
right. That's right. So I mean, I can envision a couple of years, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years down the line of maybe having a vehicle that can support wheelchairs, or that get some training maybe for some of our volunteer drivers, and so they know how to hook up a wheelchair properly. I mean, yeah, it can be expanded, but then again, you got to take a look at the price of insurance and things like that.
Oh,
So,
sure.
I mean, right
Everything
now,
goes up, yeah.
yeah, we're still in infancy stages, and I'll tell you straight out right now, it's people don't realize the cost of car insurance until you start running a commercial vehicle. It is not cheap. It is not cheap.
I know.
And then now, if we start to add in the fact of a wheelchair accessible van,
That's gonna go
and
up.
yeah, things are going to go up higher. We got to train the people after that, and so there's a lot to it. But hey, if the need is out there, it's definitely something that we can look into. But
Oh, cool.
I envision that down the line. Of course, this time around, if you remember, this time around I was asking for a Cadillac Escalade. But that's okay. That's okay. We got our Chevy Impala. We're happy with that.
Well, you always got to
and-
set the bar high.
Yeah. I always set the bar high, and then whatever comes in, we take, and we put a smile on our face and say, okay, let's just keep moving forward.
I just didn't know how many times you've had to tell people, oh, I need a ride to a doctor appointment on this day, and you have to say, oh, I'm sorry, we're already doing someone on that day.
Yeah, I've had to do that a couple of times, and it's like I said a few weeks ago here. If you're a veteran that is in need of a ride to your medical appointment, as soon as you know the date of that appointment, call the post. Call American Legion Post 85 at 401-766-7585. Give them your date. Give them your name. They'll call me. I will call you, the veteran, and I'll get all the information I need from you to set you up for a ride. We do one ride a day. And that's because, let's say, you have to go to the Brockton VA, and your appointment is at 10 o'clock in the morning. And let's say there's somebody else that same day that needed a ride at 2 in the afternoon to go to the Providence VA. Well, if the Brockton VA keeps you down there till 11:30, quarter of 12,
That's right.
guess who isn't going to make their Providence appointment, that 2 o'clock trip? So we do one trip a day, and the thing that's pretty unique as compared to the way the VA operates at their vehicle is with the VA vehicle, you usually go with a group, got to wait till everybody's done with their appointment, then you all go back as a group. With us, we take you from
Curb
your
to
home.
curb.
We wait for you. We wait for you, and then we bring you back home. So it's like a private Uber service. So and like I say, we're more than happy to do that.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program, and more coming your way. Time for a look at the forecast, being brought to you by Bank of America.
Partly sunny skies today with a high of 77 degrees and a light breeze from the north. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 57. Saturday's weather, partly sunny and 77. Rain is likely Saturday night. Sunday, sunshine and 71. Monday, sunshine and 78. Tuesday, sunshine and 80. Wednesday, sunshine and 81. And next Thursday, sunny skies and 82 degrees.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with cloudy skies, we have 65 degrees. Now this message from Bank of America.
Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses so you can make every move matter. Visit this website, bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A., copyright 2024.
In a world where good food, friendly faces, and unforgettable memories collide, there's one place that stands out from the rest. Gators Pub is proudly celebrating 35 years of excellence in North Smithfield. Join us at Gators Pub, where every visit feels like coming home. Our secret to success? It's simple. Our super friendly staff and mouth-watering dishes prepared fresh daily by our talented chefs. Sink your teeth into our delectable lunch specials from Monday through Thursday and savor complimentary soup to warm your soul. Enjoy the game day excitement with multiple TVs showing the Boston Red Sox while indulging in classic appetizers like our famous potato skins and pita chips. Looking for a lively atmosphere to watch volleyball games? Look no further. Pair it with our juicy burgers or the latest cocktail creations to elevate your experience. Gators Pub, your ultimate destination for good times and great food. Come and celebrate with us at Gators Pub on Route 102, just a mile before Wright's Chicken Farm. Make every moment memorable at Gators Pub, where good friends and great flavors meet. Remember, there are no strangers at Gators Pub, just good friends you haven't met yet.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
It's Coffee In on ONAM and FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Rich Lane and Rob LaForte from American Legion Post 85. Dave Richards is here. He's going to tell you all about this week's Valley Breeze newspaper.
Thank you, Joe. I have in my hand a copy of the Cumberland Lincoln edition of the Valley Breeze newspaper we have available for you here at 985 Park Avenue. And let's take a look at some of the news stories that are on the front page of the Valley Breeze this week. Ethan Shorey writes from Cumberland that some Cumberland candidates skipped the political forum, and they're pretty upset about the process and stuff like that. Well, I guess there was you'll read about it when you read his story. But, politics can get to be that way sometimes, where there's disagreement and not everybody gets along and plays in the same sandbox well. All right. Over in Lincoln, the police department over there has got second thoughts, and you can find out from Sophia Barr's story why they are delaying the implementation of the body-worn cameras on police officers in Lincoln. And then in Cumberland again, the accessory dwelling units are now easier to develop in Cumberland. Ethan has the story on that. As we all know, they have identified a housing crisis, and anytime you can make it easier for people to find affordable housing, then they want to do it, and they think that might be the way to do it. I now hold in my hand the North Smithfield, Woonsocket, and Blackstone edition of the Valley Breeze. We have some stories over here. The mayoral race here in Woonsocket seems to be taking the spotlight for next Tuesday's primary election. It seems to be one everybody's talking about. Excuse me. And in North Smithfield, the town council there, Corey Plant writes, is forming a charter review commission. So they'll be looking at the North Smithfield charter. And finally, sad news for some. Corey Plant has details on tomorrow's demise and closing down of R&D Seafood. Of course, we all heard, that Wilford's closed. R&D was a great complimentary seafood place on this part of the city, although it's in Woonsocket. It was like it served North Smithfield so well because North Smithfield is right across the street. But the boys have decided to knock it off, and that's about the end of it. And so an era comes to an end, and the sheriff's boys will step down after business tomorrow on the 7th of September. Read all the details from Corey Plant's story in the Valley Breeze newspaper. Lots of great news. Also, some fantastic ads, some great local businesses that you'll want to do business with. It's the Valley Breeze newspaper, free where you shop every Thursday. Joe?
Thanks, Dave. And okay, Rich, just a rundown of things going on this weekend, at least this weekend, over there at the Post.
Well, of course, being September, this is pretty much our last month of doing our outside events under the pavilion. I think we've had a very successful year as far as the bands that we've had come in. It's like I've
high caliber bands.
Yeah, we have, and that's something that the commander and our entertainment director down at the Post sat down and talked about, is bringing in probably some of your, and don't get me wrong, these musicians that start out and you're just starting your bands out and you've been together 1 or 2 years or something like that. Hey, great. I mean, I'm a half butt picker guitar myself, so it takes a lot of guts to get up on the stage and play a guitar and sing, believe me. And so all these bands that are starting out, we were more than happy to have you. But the focus I think we had this year was just to bring in some higher quality bands, try to get more people to come down. I think it's been like extremely successful.
Bands with a big following, perhaps, is a better way to say it, right?
Yeah. I mean, one of the bands we had come down was Who Made Who, which everybody would think would have been the Who, but it was actually an AC/DC cover, and they brought in a lot of people, and I'll tell you what makes my heart feel fantastic is when I see, and it happened at the Polka Fest last weekend, when I see people come up there for these events, and when the bands take a break, a lot of them walk up toward the Eternal Flame site, and they take a look at the Eternal Flame site, and that really, and I know the commander, Rob, feels the same way. That makes our heart feel good to see people walk up there and take a look, But what's going on? Yeah, let's get back to that. Polka Fest was last Sunday. Great turnout. Weather, we started to get the rain to come down about 4 o'clock or so.
That happened everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, but people enjoyed it. People hung around, and
it didn't last all that long.
No. And Paul Belanger did a fantastic job as always with the Bobliski Orchestra. Babinski. I'll get it right one day. Babinski Orchestra. They did a wonderful job.
They're one of the top bands in the area now.
Yeah, they were really good, and we're more than happy to have them come up there. And for the people that came up to the Post for the first time, don't let it be your last time you come up. The Post is open to the public, so you can come on down and have yourself a beverage, and hopefully join one of the organizations that's down there. This Saturday, that's tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. We got the All Over Band. That's classic rock. So come on down from 7 to 11 tomorrow evening. We're going to have our outside beverage area open. It's underneath the pavilion. You just have a fantastic time listening to the band.
But make sure you get there before 11 p.m. or the band will be all over.
Well, that's
again.
Correct. That's correct. But be ready to have some good music and some good beverage, and there is never, ever, ever a cover charge to listen to the bands. So we just ask that you come there, be respectful, enjoy yourself, and just have a good evening with everyone. Then I'll let the commander elaborate on this because he usually hangs around for these, and I just sometimes poke my head in. Wednesday, September 11th, we got our final bike night of the season at Post 85. So, Rob, you want to elaborate on what that's all about?
Well, this is our last bike night of the season, and we have a lot of people that come down with their own motorcycles that they tricked
Oh, this
out.
isn't
and
the
they-
Schwinn special with
No,
the
no,
disc brake?
no. These
Those
are
kind of bikes.
motorized. But no, we have a lot of people that come down with their motorcycles that they spent a lot of time and money on that makes them happy. So they get an opportunity to come down to the post, park it in our lot. They get a number, and everybody that comes votes on it, and we give a trophy to the first, second, and third place winner. And we also give there is an award for the number one winner.
So it's like a car show with two wheels
Yes.
vehicles.
Yeah, we're gonna have some vendors there, various different products and whatnot.
Right.
And it is September 11th, so we're gonna be honoring those who had fallen during that terrible incident. So come on down. There will be food being supplied by the Sons of the Legion. So we'll have hamburgers and hot dogs and chips and whatnot, and we also have our outside bar available for anybody who wants a beverage.
Cool.
All right.
And also, then coming up just a little bit in the future, our last band of the season is going to be Saturday, September 14th. That'll be Tucker Creek coming in. That's another
Oh, I heard of that.
really good band. So, like I said, keep these two dates in mind if you want to listen to live music. Tomorrow night from 7 to 11 at American Legion Post 85, the All Over Band, and Saturday, September 14th with Tucker Creek. And then we're just going to wrap up the outdoor season on Saturday, September 28th, with one of Joe and I's favorite, New World Wrestling Extreme.
I've been working on my figure 4 leg lock. So.
Have you really? So Saturday, September 28th. And you know, Rob and I have had interesting conversation with the promoter, James Allen. And I don't know, there may be a surprising story either for this last one or one of the wrestling events that's going to take place next year.
Let's worry about the future. Don't
Let's
worry
go
about
to-
the
yeah. So we're gonna have to talk with the promoter a little bit about what Rob and I may be involved in with one of these wrestling events.
Well, we can always drag these gentlemen in. I'll take one, you take the other. We'll do a tag team.
Oh, here we go.
Does it involve
Wouldn't that be amazing?
does it involve a steel cage?
Here we go, huh?
Possibility.
Rob and
There's all
Rich
sorts of
versus
possibilities.
Dave and Joe in the steel cage match, huh? Can make some. Look at Dave going. Uh-oh.
Hey, that's one definite way of making money for the milk fund.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're organizing for the new appeal, so yeah, put everything on the table and see what sticks.
It'll be a slobber knocker, as
Yeah.
they always as they say.
Yeah, but honestly, folks, when you sit down, you listen to me and Rob sit here and talk about the post, we're not bragging. We're just telling you the good stuff that always goes on down there. So, come on down, visit us. We got 4 separate entities. We've got the American Legion, which you have to be a veteran in order to be a member of the American Legion. We have the Sons of the American Legion, where if you've had a father, mother, sister, brother that was in the military, am I right? No, father, mother.
Father, the sons is either the father or grandfather was a veteran.
Okay.
So that's the only way you can be a sons. If you're the auxiliary, it's your daughter or granddaughter or spouse of a veteran. This includes the male spouses of female veterans, and then we have that civilian entity.
Yeah, it's Friends of Fairmont. So come on down and join an entity and just enjoy a good time down the post.
Right. So Robin and Rich, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Much
Talk about
appreciated.
everything
Thank you
going
very
on with
much
the
for
Post.
letting us tell you about the post.
All right, this portion of Coffee has been sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper. John Ward's next.
The Valley Breeze has been a local news leader since its founding in 1996, and more people are reading our stories today than ever before. We believe our mission of making our community stronger by telling their stories is not just a tagline, but a way of life for our staff as they connect with you, our loyal readers and advertisers. Our team thanks you for always reading, always reaching out, and always helping toward our shared vision. Check out any of our 5 editions or visit valleybreeze.com for more.
Are you retired or retiring soon? That's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3, Cumberland, Rhode Island. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, call Ed or Paul Carew at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
It is Coffee In on ON Radio, and now we're being joined at the Coffee In table by Woonsocket mayoral candidate John Ward in a paid sponsorship brought to you by the paid for by the Friends of John Ward. So you get your 30, 60 seconds here, John, to say why should people vote for you?
Well,
Your first message.
first message is that simply to remind people, actually, that we have a primary on Tuesday. And though it is not the final election and the final choice, I think it's important in terms of setting the table and giving the message to the folks in the city that that it's time to change our direction and change the way we've been doing things. Instead of what's been happening for the last 10 years, we go off in a different direction that includes a higher level of ethical behavior and integrity, and I am prepared to do that. And so I ask people to either get out there and vote today or Monday, where they can vote early. And if they haven't filled or completed a mail ballot yet, but they have one in hand, they can still drop it at City Hall in a drop box, and or come out Tuesday and vote. We'll have people at the polling locations with signs encouraging them to vote for me and my candidacy for mayor. So I hope they will.
John, when people see the ballot, either before in early voting or on Tuesday, they will see three names.
Yes.
And they'll be allowed to choose one of the three.
Yes.
And your position, of course, is that you'd be a better choice.
That's my belief. Yes.
And so, but if people are wondering why there's a primary, there are three qualified candidates on that ballot right now.
Well, we have to distinguish between party primaries and a runoff election.
That's
really.
true, too.
And a party primary is for selection of the candidate to represent a particular party. But in a nonpartisan election, it's to whittle down the list of choices to the number that matches twice the available seats.
Right.
And so for the case of mayor, with one seat available, there can only be two candidates on the ballot in November. And in order to get it down from the three that qualified, you have to have a preliminary runoff election. And it just happens to coincide with the election or the primary election. So it's sometimes can be confusing for people as to
because of the state and municipal.
Right.
Municipal is nonpartisan, state is partisan.
And so we have to distinguish between the two. And this is just to get the choices down to two for the November election, in which case I'll ask people to make the same choice when they choose me in the primary.
Okay, John. Question for you. Mostly, I guess it's an opinion. And what would you do if and when you become mayor? So we have down on Social Street, where the Rite Aid used to be.
Yes.
It's now Dollar General.
Dollar General.
Are you happy that the Dollar General is there? Would you do something different?
No.
Could you do something different?
No, and no.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay, I'm not happy. There was an opportunity for a company to bring in a small grocer that would be more of a grocery store concept in that area, and that was done. But the problem is that the sale is a private sale by a private party, and it's something that the city had little control over, but we were able to try to work into the negotiation, and that failed when that grocery organization was not able to come up with what was necessary to do the deal. And so the private owner had other private parties interested in buying and operating there, and one of them was Dollar General, and they chose to do that. And because it's in a commercial zone, clearly it qualifies for use there. And it can't, there's nothing that the city can do to stop it. We can certainly discourage it, and I have always said, and I will continue to say, that we do need a downtown grocery presence. And I think the best opportunity for our circumstance in terms of traffic, in terms of demographics, in terms of income availability would be to go out and beat the bushes for what is operated often by nonprofit organizations around the country as food co-ops, where they bring in fresh food, healthier food, maybe off national brand product, and put it out there utilizing the nonprofit structure as an operating scheme, and some of the people who would take benefit from shopping in a situation like that to work either as full-time paid or volunteer workers to help stock shelves, help to clean up, help to take care of the facility so it can lower the overheads and costs, and then a nonprofit could run it while not losing money, so to speak, and operating it effectively and bringing a healthier grocery choice to that area. Now, we do have a building that the city bought that was going to be funded with federal funds, and it's sitting empty, and the city owns it, and we're trying to market that building where Aaron's used to be. That's a 7,500 square foot building. It's in good shape. It needs some cleanup and some renovation to pretty it up. But to me, that would be something that should be investigated and pursued aggressively to find out if such an opportunity exists and take advantage of it and put some legitimate grocery options in that neighborhood, because it is an area where there's not a lot of income, but there is a lot of need, and it should be addressed in some
John,
fashion.
John, to do the mechanics of doing that, I mean, because right now you're talking about desires and wish list and that sort of thing like
Yes.
that, and you can ask when it comes to private, and if they say no, you have no recourse.
That's
But getting back to the Aaron's thing, what would be the good mechanical way of doing that, in your opinion? If you were the chief executive, would you say that hiring a commercial real estate broker to seek out the kind of tenants that you're looking for that? Or is that just something that the municipality hangs up a big sign and says, all right, everybody come over and give us your proposals?
That's the kind of thing, as I've been on this show on Wednesdays over the years,
Yeah.
you've seen me sit here and say, okay, let me look something up, and I'll just go on my phone and look something up. That's a research question, really, and I think
Yeah.
it's something that can be done within the planning department, where they can do that research, and they can find those companies and nonprofits and national organizations and statewide organizations and locate them, to communicate with them about what we have available, what their needs are, what it would take to get them to consider coming here, and just open up a channel of communication. And then when you can find out who's out there and who may be interested and who has the capability to do it, and if there's a financing need or if there's any other kind of need, there are scores of grant opportunities within the federal and state government for funding,
For that kind of
upfront
work,
kind
yeah.
of funding to assist maybe in improvements to the building and the preparation of the site to get the job done. So no, I don't think that's a realtor's job, really, because that's too targeted and it's too specific. I think that would be more of a planning job, because to find those agencies that do that kind of work. And I would suspect there's even some right here in the neighboring areas of Providence and Boston, maybe even in Worcester, that could take care of some of those things. So
Okay.
that's process I see that could take place.
Another question for you, John, because you brought it up yesterday when you here on your paid appearance yesterday, and I saw something posted yesterday, because you talked about the possibility of the senior center moving to where the police station is now, and now I'm seeing all sorts of things. Oh no, that's not what we meant at all, and oh my goodness, and what's this petition? And oh no, we're not moving. So any response to that?
I'm not going to spend too much time being too critical here. I'm simply pointing out that that question arose because of something that was said by the current mayor, specifically at one of the high rises and his appearance there, and
On the campaign trail.
and on the campaign trail, and mentioned as an alternative location. And then there's a piece that was in the mail yesterday that specifically said the new senior center, create new senior center, and so.
Did you see the post online yesterday about? Oh no, that's not what.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
meant?
Then
Okay.
I did see that denial or backpedaling, or call it what you will. But there was also the criticism of the fact that it was actually said by him at appearances, and I'll let the people who heard it, and the people who wanted to debate that. But it was on the flyer, It said create new senior center, and that's apparently not what he meant. So, well, at least that's what he's saying now. So I think I'll let the public digest that in social media and do what they want with it. In my case, I've always advocated for and mentioned the fact that this year's last budget cycle, when Scott McGee, who was on Aging Well's board, with Brian Thompson and myself, visited with Aging Well, and we asked about what communication they had with the administration in preparation of the city's operating budget and the city's CDBG grant for planning for the year. The answer was that they had not been communicated with at all. They had not been invited to a conversation. There had been no communication between them. And so I was shocked by that, and it appears that they were just given a same as last year kind of budget. Don't worry about them. But frankly, I think they need to be, people need to be concerned with the fact that the seniors use the facility. It has had improvements made to it, and it still needs more improvements. And I know they're putting a coat of paint on the walls in there and talking about new flooring. I'm you know how I can be sometimes with my sense of humor. As I travel and talk to people, I characterize the color of that paint as not champagne, but in fact campaign color. It's politics time, so you paint walls and promise floors, and but that's not what the senior center completely needs. It needs much more. It needs a complete modernization. And that's what I'm advocating for, is a complete modernization of that facility, because the seniors like it, and it's safe in access to the parking lot. Well, it's used a lot, but it's also safe to get in and out of the parking lot for seniors, because they're not emptying out onto a main road. They're emptying out onto side streets that are less traveled and are safer for them to leave the parking lot and not encounter traffic. So Snow Street and Earl Street are fairly quiet streets. It gives them a chance to get into the car and get out of the parking lot without putting people at risk.
You have a question, Dave? I have another one if you don't.
Well, I've been asking a lot of
All right,
questions. You go right ahead,
all right,
Joe.
let me
Have
ask,
your
John
fun.
this. John,
Unless John wants to talk extemporaneously.
no, John. We'll let him do that in a minute.
I learned that too.
John, what's your stance on? Because we haven't heard much lately on the old YMCA pool. Do we keep it? Do we get rid of it? What do we do with it?
It's not ours. Again, this is private party stuff. It's not ours to do with. The gentleman who was buying that property to develop into apartments, that was talking about leasing it to the city, has failed to close on the property, has not purchased it, and so the YMCA is still selling it. From what I've heard, that it's being sold in component parts. But I have yet to see any kind of financial information about projections on the cost of operations. I've seen a lot of talk about using ARPA funds to improve it, but that's nothing about what it takes to operate
That
a pool.
boat's about to sail for the last time, isn't it, ARPA?
Yeah, well, that's closing out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And so there won't be future funds available. And when you look at other communities' pools, the cost of operating them runs over $250,300 a year. And I'm just not sure that that's the kind of resource we have at this point in the city, when we've just gotten a 4% tax rate increase, and everybody's bill has gone up by 4%, and people are struggling with their bills as it is. And so, as I have pointed out, and something that I'm probably going to finish with here this morning, is that it's that kind of experience I have, and I was looking for analysis, a financial analysis, and no, I don't want to get caught up in the everything finance deal, but you know what? If you're going to make a commitment like that, you need to do a proper financial analysis to find out whether it's something affordable for the people who are paying the bill. And so I'm relying on my 30 years of experience. That's not just in finance, but in other aspects of just general management of a city. And I am committed to making sure I can put that experience to good use and good purpose, because I have been in management of both municipal affairs, school affairs, housing authority affairs, purchasing, and all of the things, and staffing even, that are important to the city that I think are still lacking and need to be corrected in the upcoming administration, the upcoming couple of years. There's lots to do, and you'll hear promises of making commitments to finish the big projects. Well, whoever's there is going to finish the big projects, and I'm perfectly capable of doing that. And we're going to not just finish the big projects, but then make plans for new projects that will come along. I just spoke of one, possibly trying to find some kind of food arrangement with somebody out there who might be interested in doing something. And there are other ideas I have that I'm going to be talking about as we get to the general election on things that could be happening in the city. And I just want to speak with other people about how they would play out. But again, I'm relying on my 30 years of experience, and I think the people have seen me consistent over my term in office in the city, and I would appreciate it if they would feel comfortable with my experience and my desire to get the job done, and know that it can be better. When I say we need to change the way we do things, it's not because I was letting something happen that my good friend was doing, and then I'm going to change it because it wasn't right. I've always thought it wasn't right. And so I just want to have an opportunity to go in there and put my experience to work for the people of Woonsocket and make sure that that things get done right out of the gate.
All right, this segment of Coffee and, which has come to an end, by the way, was purchased by friends of John Ward. John, you're going to join us on Monday for another 2 paid appearances on Monday.
Good.
I am.
8:30 to 9
I'll
on
ask some of
Monday.
the questions I didn't ask today.
Please save them for Monday.
Or I may just talk for a half hour.
There you go.
Possible.
All right.
All right, John,
Very
thanks
good.
for
Thank
coming
you
in.
very much.
Appreciate it.
Have
Dave,
a
thanks
great
for
day.
coming in as well.
It's good show, Joe. Good show.
And thanks to Rob LaForte and Rich Lane from Post 85 for being here today as well. Have yourself a fantastic weekend. Got to go out and buy an anniversary card.
Yeah. Happy anniversary tomorrow, Joe.
Thank you very much.
33 only comes
And
once.
That's right. And stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do your remembers at 9:30 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
The number of Massachusetts communities considered at high risk for mosquito-borne viruses continues to increase.